and go to the other side, the NFC East, where the Philadelphia Eagles win total at BetMGM is set at 9.5, minus 110 on both sides. To make the playoffs, this is what I was mentioning earlier, minus 160, yes, no is plus 130. And to win the Super Bowl, they are 25-1. A few months ago, they were 40-1. So we've seen a lot of money come in on Philly. And if you're looking at the NFC East, Cowboys remain the favorites at plus 120, Eagles plus 185, Commanders 5-1, Giants plus 650. I just love what the Eagles have done during the offseason. And that might be a trendy thing to say. A lot of people appreciate and have lauded Philly for what they've done, but there's a reason for it. Unlike the Browns, where I feel like people just jump on them every year and say, this is going to be Cleveland's year. This is the year the Browns finally get it done. I've heard that for 5 or 6 years. People are on the Eagles this year, not necessarily because it's trendy, but because they've made some very shrewd and impressive moves.
Oh, it looks like a Cowboys team that's going in the opposite direction. So I think if there's a year for the Eagles to take charge of this division, maybe this is the year. But I think a really intriguing bet for me for the Eagles is the Eagles to start the season 4-0. Because let's look at the Eagles schedule. They go on the road to the Lions, which I know is not going to be an easy win. The Lions are improved this year. But then they host the Vikings. They go to the Commanders. And then they host the Jags. So I think those are 4 winnable games for this Philly team that is not breaking in a new head coach. Because usually, if it's a team that has a first-year head coach, that's a team I don't really want to back for a 4-0 start. But I do think this is a team that is going to be better this year, and they have a winnable 4 games to start the season. So that's plus 375. Eagles to start the season 4-0, plus 375 over at BetMGM. I do like them to make the playoffs. It's a bit juicy, but I do like that. I think the win total is a touch too high for me at 9.5, so I'm going to stay away from that one.
I love NFC East at plus 185. I just don't buy into the Cowboys, particularly with Mike McCarthy as head coach. And I love the fact, Chelsea, that the Eagles have an identity now. And we've talked about this quite a bit, where last year, Nick Sirianni taking over the team just wasn't getting it done. And even Joe Giglio said this. We made a bad hire. We made a bad hire. No, they didn't. Nick Sirianni turned things around and said, let's focus on the run game. Let's hand the ball off to Miles Sanders. We'll give it to Boston Scott, change things up a little bit. And then we'll take the pressure off Jalen Hurts. That's where they are now. And they've done a great job on defense as well. We're going to focus on Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, and I get that. But this was already a top 10 unit. They signed Hassan Reddick at linebacker from Carolina. They drafted that monster Jordan Davis out of Georgia to solidify the defensive line. This is a complete team. And if Jalen Hurts gets better and takes that next step, I think they're going to be a really formidable opponent. And I like them at plus money to win the East. I'm going to put a sprinkle on them. I don't know about them beginning the season 4-0. That's tough to do in the NFL, particularly when you're getting your footing at the start of the year. But I'm really high on what the Eagles can do this season.
Let me make this clear. I'm pretty high on the Eagles, but I don't think I'm high on them enough to win the NFC, because I know there's people probably out there saying, well, what about them to win the NFC? They're 11-1 to win the NFC. I don't think that they are that ready this year to make that big of a jump, but I do think they are good enough to overtake the Cowboys in that division. Especially, it was an interesting nugget that Joe G brought up, that there are rarely back-to-back winners in the NFC East.
Yeah, I would buy that, I would say. Do you think Jalen Hurts? I mean, we listened to Joe G, and he loves Jalen Hurts. He says he's getting better and better and better. Do you think he is?
I think so. I believe in him. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. He always says the right thing. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll look like an idiot. I don't know.
No, I will say one thing. He's an easy guy to like. There's no question about that.